A 1988 clip from The Late Show with David Letterman shows Tom Cruise laughing uncontrollably while telling a story about turning off a passenger's oxygen to maintain altitude, to the point that David Letterman asked, "Was that attempted murder?" Behind the scenes of Scientology, the organization for which Cruise serves as its most prominent ambassador, lies a web of disturbing allegations: enforced disconnection from family, forced labor within the Sea Org, and internal prison known as The Hole, and leaked videos showing Cruise speaking about his salvation mission with near fanatical zeal. His private life has never escaped the shadow of this belief system. Meanwhile, many of his co-stars have described working with Cruise as nothing short of a nightmare. Brad Pitt, Russell Crowe, and Mark Wahlberg have all clashed with him, some openly, some behind the scenes. Paradoxically, Cruise remains the very embodiment of a Hollywood movie star. After 4 decades of dominance at the box office, Top Gun: Maverick crowned his career with its biggest hit. Amid all the shocking statements and fiery clashes, one question remains: what has kept Tom Cruise at the top of the box office for decades? Let's dive into the untold sides of this Hollywood icon. And of course, few would deny that Tom Cruise remains one of the rare names powerful enough to draw crowds by reputation alone. With no need for extravagant CGI or stand-ins, Cruise turns every film into a visceral act of survival. He dangled from the glass walls of the Burj Khalifa in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol without a Hollywood standard safety harness, piloted FA-18 Super Hornets himself in Top Gun: Maverick, and executed a halo jump from over 25,000 feet in Fallout. These aren't just stunts, they're a statement. I'll do whatever it takes to make you believe every frame. And as we all know, Top Gun: Maverick went on to become the highest-grossing film of his career, surpassing $1.4 billion USD worldwide, proving that Cruise's allure remains untouched by time. To many, he embodies pure dedication, a performer who lives for his audience. Cruise isn't just an actor, he turns personal risk itself into cinematic experience and artistic value. But no snowflake is ever truly pure, and Tom Cruise is no exception. Beneath all that spotlight, rumors still flicker, some interviews leaving an uncanny aftertaste. The unblinking gaze, the too perfect smile, the energy that spills past what feels human. Most striking of all was his 1988 appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman, his first time in the guest chair. What seemed like a routine chat would later inspire Christian Bale as he shaped the character Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. The radiant grin, the flawless hair, the chiseled jaw, every detail tuned to something almost inhuman. Bale called it a friendliness with nothing behind the eyes, and turned that surface charm into Patrick Bateman, a gleaming psychopath who thinks of destruction 24/7. Specifically, Cruise recalled an incident on a flight where he and the co-pilot turned off a passenger's oxygen supply to maintain altitude. As he laughed through the story, Letterman had to cut in with a pointed line: "Isn't that attempted murder?" Rewatched today, the clip feels less like a harmless anecdote and more like an emotional glitch, a man joking his way through a life-threatening scenario. That moment, Bale later admitted, was exactly what inspired him. Could it be that this very act is what made people see him as a psychopath? In 2005, his sudden leap onto Oprah Winfrey's couch, shouting, "I'm in love with Katie Holmes," went instantly viral. This was a pre-social media cultural phenomenon, but its deeper impact was how it eroded the calm, controlled, and cool image that Cruise had spent years constructing. A star once seen as perfectly in control suddenly looked manic, shifting the public's reaction from surprise to doubt about his stability and about how genuine his emotions really were. The incident has been dissected endlessly and is still viewed as the turning point in how the world perceives him. That same year, during a 2005 Today Show interview with Matt Lauer, Cruise openly attacked psychiatry and the use of antidepressants. He cited Brooke Shields as an example, claiming medication merely masks the problem. His comments weren't just controversial, they were a direct collision with the mental health community, sparking outrage for dismissing legitimate medical treatment. But what happens when the cameras stop rolling? What kind of man is Tom Cruise on set? those who've worked directly with Cruise have plenty to say. Thandie Newton called her time filming Mission Impossible 2 a nightmare. She recalled being asked to redo a scene so many times that Cruise eventually switched roles to show her how he wanted it done. The gesture, she said, only made her more uneasy. Similar accounts in the industry suggest that Brad Pitt once described them as two opposites when they worked together. Meanwhile, Mark Wahlberg publicly pushed back when one of Cruise's remarks was interpreted as comparing acting to fighting in Afghanistan, causing a backlash so intense it nearly turned into a legal dispute. Beyond cinema, he stands as the powerful public face of Scientology, a modern religion steeped in suspicion. In a leaked 2008 internal video, Cruise speaks in the tone of the Chosen One, declaring that only Scientologists have the power to save humanity. The footage not only revealed his deep devotion, but also cast him as a global evangelist, a role few Hollywood stars would dare to embrace.
These are the times now, people, okay? These are the times we will all remember. Were you there? What did you do? I think you know that I am there for you.
The video spread rapidly, turning him into a symbol of fanaticism and fueling a wave of online mockery. From what I've researched, Scientology was founded in 1953 by L. Ron Hubbard, a science fiction author turned spiritual leader. The church presents itself as a science of the mind, helping people purge fear, erase painful memories, and achieve personal freedom. Yet countless former members and independent organizations label it a cult, one built on secrecy, control, and massive financial demands. Scientology rests on three core beliefs: that humans are thetans, immortal spiritual beings who've lived countless past lives. Your problems, they say, come from engrams, painful subconscious memories from this life or past ones. The goal is to become clear, a mental state free of these engrams, allowing the thetan to realize its full power. Some followers even believe this state can unlock supernatural abilities. How do they reach that state? Through a process called auditing. The participant holds two metal cylinders connected to a device called an e-meter, while a counselor asks probing questions meant to unearth painful memories. The machine measures electrical changes in the skin, which they claim reveals whether you've released those negative memories. Members must buy into a series of costly training courses, tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars, to rise through the ranks known as operating thetan levels. Scientology is notoriously expensive by design. Advancing requires constant payment. The total can reach $1 million or more. The church maintains control by collecting personal secrets during auditing sessions, leverage to keep members from leaving or cutting ties. If you leave or speak out, members, including family, are told to sever contact. Critics are harassed, smeared, or buried in lawsuits until silenced. Working conditions are harsh, especially within the Sea Org, an internal order accused of forced labor and paying as little as a few dollars a week. So where did Tom Cruise first cross paths with Scientology, and how did he get pulled in? Let's find out. Cruise entered Scientology through his first wife, Mimi Rogers. Mimi's father, Phil Spickler, was a senior figure within the church, a link confirmed by multiple Hollywood sources. After divorcing Mimi, Tom didn't step away. He dove deeper into Scientology, proving his devotion was never just about her. David Miscavige, the church's supreme leader, quickly recognized Cruise as heaven sent for promoting the faith. To Miscavige, Cruise was the ultimate poster boy. To Cruise, Scientology was a VIP seat securing privilege both inside and outside the church. Nicole Kidman, Tom's second wife, was reportedly seen as a threat because she never embraced Scientology. Former members have claimed the church itself had a hand in their 2001 divorce. The most shocking case involved actress Nazanin Boniadi, who was allegedly recruited and trained by Scientology to be Cruise's girlfriend, under strict confidentiality. Almost every failed romance in Cruise's life seems to cast the same shadow, Scientology lingering in the background. Cruise lives in extraordinary luxury while thousands of ordinary followers endure scarcity and discipline. He once declared, "Scientology saved my life, and it's a beautiful religion that made me who I am today."
No, you know what? It's something that has helped me incredibly in my life.
Yeah.
I've been a Scientologist for over 30 years,
Yeah.
and it's something that, as you know, without it, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a beautiful religion, and I'm very proud.
But that same zeal drew heavy backlash, especially after his criticism of Brooke Shields for taking antidepressants, true to Scientology's doctrine that treats psychiatry as the enemy. Scientology has faced constant investigations and accusations of exploitation and control, and as its public face, Cruise can't avoid being tied to that responsibility. He enjoys its privileges, but has never publicly defended its victims. But on the big screen, he remains a box office star. One way or another, in 2025, Tom Cruise reaffirmed his reign as the ultimate action star with the release of Mission: Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Though the full numbers were never widely disclosed, its post-production and budget made it clear this was Cruise's biggest and riskiest bet yet. The film grossed around $598 million worldwide, $197 million domestically across the US and Canada, and $400 million internationally, making it one of 2025's top 10 highest earners. It also marked the biggest opening in the Mission: Impossible franchise, debuting over Memorial Day weekend and setting a record with a $79 million domestic launch. However, that figure wasn't enough to offset its massive $400 million budget, leaving the film under pressure to turn a profit. Even so, Cruise stole headlines again with his dramatic appearance at the 2025 Super Bowl. Performing a breathtaking stunt sequence, he extended the legacy of high-octane spectacle that's defined his name for decades. Meanwhile, his ties to Scientology remain a delicate subject. Cruise continues to stand as the church's global figurehead. He regularly attends major Scientology events, while the U.S. government still upholds the church's tax-exempt status granted by the IRS back in 1993. There's been no new legal evidence against him this past year, but public sentiment has only grown clearer. Cruise still holds his image as the quintessential VIP action hero. His unwavering grip on Scientology remains a double-edged sword, shielding his career while exposing him to deeper moral and reputational risks. As long as his name stays intertwined with allegations of forced labor and psychological control within the church, the glow around Tom Cruise will keep shining, yet never entirely untainted. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood.